To those who married their first boyfriend girlfriend, what made you decide they were the one despite never being with anyone else? When I was 18 I was heavily into sports and gaming, and I had no time for anything else. Every day after work was just hours of volleyball, ultimate frisbee, basketball. After that I would head to a friend's house for dinner and video games, rinse and repeat pretty much every day. During the winter we would get season passes and hit the mountain for snowboarding 40-50x a season. Well, during that year my friend invited a whole bunch of people one weekend, and one of his friend's sister came along. She had never snowboarded before, and she was completely deaf. But dang if she wasn't the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. I blew my friends off and spent the entire day guiding her down the bunny slopes over and over. Couldn't even talk to her because I didn't know sign language, but we didn't care. Had the best time ever. Cut to 1 month later and I'm driving to her town 4 hours away every Friday right after work, and coming home 4 hours every Sunday evening. 3 months later we said screw it and got engaged. 2 years later we were married. That was about 13 years ago, and now the only thing I do is hang out with her every day. I am a professional sign language interpreter because of her, and we have awesome kids also because of her. The concept of girls and dating wasn't really a priority for me at the time, until she came out of nowhere like a sack of bricks lol. The funny part was she turned me down the first few times I asked her out too, but sometimes when you know, you just know. I guess you can say my wife was my first and only serious relationship. By the time I'd asked her out, I'd already known her for 5 or 6 years. I really fell for her after she accepted my faults. I know I'm not easy to be around. I'm impulsive toward things I want to do. I'm arrogant in certain things. She accepted all of that. Meanwhile, she told me about her faults. There are not many, but one big one is staying at home is extremely painful to her. I guess that's why we are fit for each other. I can be impulsive and tell her I wanna go to the Grand Tetons at 3 AM. And at 4 AM we are on our way. She's happy she's not at home. I'm happy I can go adventure. She's been my best friend from the moment we became friends. I could tell very early on that she was a gentle and loving person who cares for people out of the good of her heart. She accepts me for who I am and all my weirdness, and we both embrace each other's flaws. She's always inspired me to be a better person in a way no one else has. She may be my first and only, but I've seen enough unhealthy, toxic, and abusive relationships secondhand to know that a woman like my wife comes along once in a lifetime, and I didn't want to let her pass me by. We love each other more every day. That sounds absolutely wonderful. Because he makes me the best version of me. We also have gone through so many hard times and we got through them stronger. Also, not for nothing, but we share a significant proportion of our SSNs. The government thought we were meant to be, so who are we to fight that fate? Don't let Alex Jones hear about this one or you're going to be one of his theories. She just was. I don't know how to explain it. We were friends for a couple of months beforehand. Both played trombone and had a similar sense of humor, and she wanted to include me in stuff. I liked her as a person, appreciated her kindness and wit and beauty, and had a crush. She kissed me one night, and the world changed. Spent a lot of time talking with her, fell full on in love, and kept finding more and more things to love about her. That was a bit over 17 years ago, and we've been married for the last 13. People still call us cute, and it's occasionally hilarious to correct people that think we're newlyweds or only married for 1 or 2 years. We support each other in ways I'd never thought possible, and really understand and know each other on an intuitive level. It's a wonderful experience. My writing might be flat, my feelings aren't. Aha, I broke up not long ago and you made me so envious right now. That's beautiful and so wholesome that you found each other and share this kind of love. Thanks for sharing, stranger. I met my husband in 1st grade, started dating when we were 14, and got married at 19. This May makes 9 years married. Anyway, we just always clicked with each other and got along very well. Instead of growing apart like most kids do, we grew together. He's a very kind man who has always been there for me, even as teenagers. We never had a reason to break up because we got along so well. To this day, he is my very best friend. I can't imagine anyone better than him. This is so wholesome and I can't help but smile. You know how you went with either an iPhone or an Android as your first phone, and pretty much stuck by it ever since? And even though you never tried the other phone, you still fanboy your own phone choice? Because it does everything you need it to do and you think it looks dang good and you're comfortable with it? Yep. Except my ex-fiancée, after 9 years, on a whim, decided she wanted to try an iPhone instead. She seems happy with it. Thank God we never signed the phone contract. LOL. Sorry, but this was hilarious. The summer after 8th grade, a mutual friend knew him through a church and told me I'd like him. He called that night, and I swear to you, I fell in love with him just by hearing his voice on the phone. He was 16 and I was 14. He drove over the next day, and I knew the second I saw him I loved him. We've barely been apart since then. We started actually dating, like for real, when I was 16 and he was 18. He went away to college, and we both stayed in trouble for racking up long distance phone bills. I resorted to finding all the loose change I could find, and would call him from a payphone. We'd talk until all my loose change was gone. I'd hang up and cry BC I missed him so much. He stayed away at college for a year, came home, and started at local college BC. He didn't want to leave me again. We ended up going through college together, got out, bought and ran a business together, got married, continued working side by side for the next decade. We had a baby about 2 years after we married. We'd trade off shifts, so one of us was always with our child, or we'd bring her with us to work. We've now been married for 15 years, and together for 24 years. He's my best friend, and the love of my life. I would never change a thing, and never once have I felt like I missed out on other guys. It's always just been him. People say when you know, and I can definitely say I knew. He's my everything, and I know without a doubt he feels the same. BC he shows me every day with his actions and his words. She's really cool. I'm pretty weird and she's perfectly fine with that. We've been together for a little over 14 years, survived HS and college together. She was only one bridge away, went to grad school together, though in different programs, and now work in the same profession, though at different schools. There's no one else I'd want to do all of this with. I had gone on a couple first dates before, but never wanted to commit to continue dating anyone because it was just not worth the anxiety it caused. So I met my, now, husband at work. Our first date lasted 36 hours. We stayed up all night in my apartment after our first date watching comedy specials and snuggling. My skittish cat was all over him too and I knew I was gonna keep this guy. I've had this weird thing my whole life where I just don't like to be touched or touch anyone. Brief hugs are tolerable, but someone touching my arm or accidentally brushing by me would really ruin my day and make me anxious. My own mother can throw me into a full-blown panic attack sometimes. I have never had that reaction with my husband. I only ever feel safe and comfortable in his arms and I always find myself absent-mindedly rubbing his back, arms or running my fingers through his hair. My so said it was the moment that I drove him 2 hours to go to a Warhammer cafe in Dallas despite not having a personal interest, and then staying there until it closed while he geeked out and bought stuff. He wasn't my first boyfriend, but I was his first girlfriend. The day after we went to the cafe, I surprised him at home with a steak dinner for Valentine's Day. He surprised me with a ring. Getting married next year. Hello fellow friend and DFW. As someone in her first serious relationship, 22, I'm loving all of these wonderful stories. It gives me hope for me and my sweet guy. Cheers to you all. Same. I'm 21 and been with my boyfriend for 2 years now and going strong. I hope we will be able to tell a similar story in 20 or more years. He was and is everything I ever wanted in a partner. Just sitting in the same room with him lifts my spirits. We don't need to talk or interact for me to just feel better, though talking and interacting is also awesome. Being in his presence is like being in a warm, loving glow. I have never had a desire to be with anyone else after him. He's the first and only. I don't see why anyone would need to compare or shop around after finding the perfect mate, and he is perfect for me. I completely feel the same way about my fiancée. We get married in October. Just touching her makes me feel better. When she comes home I feel like I am on cloud 9. I've never had any interest in another woman since I was 13 when we met. There has never been or ever will be another woman for me. Social anxiety. We somehow started just fooling around with each other, but it turned into a relationship, so we never really dated. The mere thought of dating, being rejected, needing to decide was enough for both of us not to call it quits when things don't go smoothly. Slowly we also realized that isn't really the reason we're together, and we really like each other. Been together for 12 years now and we love each other like crazy. We started dating in high school. First BFGF. First kiss. First everything. In 3 months we will celebrate 11 years married, but we have been together for 17 years. I love our friendship. He is my best friend. We are very different people and work hard to always take care of each other. I love that I don't have any jealousy or baby mama daddy drama or ex-GFBF craziness. Our bedroom is active and on fire, even with 2 kids. I adore him and can't wait to reach my life goal of being little old people together. He also snores, not my favorite thing about him. I love that I don't have any jealousy or baby mama daddy drama or ex-GFBF craziness. This is highly underrated. The sheer amount of baggage most people carry around makes it difficult to form lasting bonds of friendship or love. Multiple reasons. 1. When we first met, I naturally gravitated towards him and he gravitated towards me despite being with people I knew better and being very introverted and shy. 2. I was poor growing up, so when we went out with friends to Taco Bell on the first day we met I didn't buy anything. He gave me his nachos because he was full. My husband is a big guy who doesn't get full easily. 3. He is a sweet guy who didn't pressure me into a relationship at all. We met in 2008 but didn't start officially dating until 2012. 4. His birthday is the 19th of August. If you calculate 9 months and 1 day later, a typical average of human gestation, that day is the 20th of May, which is my birthday. We joke that I was literally made for him. There are so many other little things, but these stand out to me as special and unique. AWW. I love the Taco Bell thing. I'm not married yet, but I wanna give my 2 cents. Nearly finished university now, and I've been dating my current girlfriend for about 7 years now. I couldn't even really tell you why we've been together so long, but if I had to give a reason it'd probably be that we're best friends. We've never had fights that we could work through. We both don't know what the hell's going on with becoming adults, so we're there for each other. We have different interests, but not so vastly different that we're incompatible. I like cars. She doesn't know a Kia from a Ford, but she'll still occasionally come out to car meets with my group. She's never been on snowmobiles or quads or the like, so I take her for rides. I've never been to a concert, so she brought me to one. I guess a big reason we're together still is that we're best friends learning how to get through life together. For me, I had kind of chased another girl around for maybe a year or 2. After that time I realized she and I just didn't have the same priorities and goals in life. I was 17, she was 19. After she went to school I had met another girl and she really liked me for who I was and didn't make me try to change who I was, and never stupidly played hard to get while making self-destructive choices in her life. The more we hung out the closer we got, and then once we started dating I just kind of knew after the first month this was who I would be with. Sounds super cliche but it's true. We've been together 9 years and married for 5 with a lot more on the horizon. If you're picking your so based on how they compare to the other people you've been with, you'll eventually forget why you made that choice. I've never been with another partner besides my fiance. She's perfect, loving, compassionate, tender, understanding, hard to anger, an all-around great person. I met her when I was 13, dated her at 17 and proposed to her last year. I've never wanted to spend the rest of my life with anyone else. Her and our 2 dogs are my world and wouldn't change it for anything. I met my husband in college and we just clicked right away. It was an actual love at first sight situation. From there, nothing came along to indicate we should break up. It's kinda that simple. If it ain't broke, marry it. I just got lucky right out of the gate. My first boyfriend wasn't a psychopath and I was in a place emotionally to be accepting of a serious relationship. I think one of the benefits to finding the one so early is that, since you're not done growing, the 2 of you can grow together. It's like a retirement account. We put the work in early, so it's paying off more. I'm not bothered by the idea that I didn't get my heart broken a bunch and I didn't have to deal with Tinder. Unfortunately, it can work the other way too though. People who marry too young then continue to grow in different directions until they have nothing in common anymore. We met online when we were 16 and 17. He was in England and I was in Australia. We were the youngest people in the little chat group that we were part of and initially just started talking because of that. One day during my summer holidays we talked for like 9 hours. It was about 4 AM for him by that stage I think, and he just couldn't stay awake any longer. Plus he knew he was going to be in big trouble for the dial-up bill. Because of time zones and him having limited access during the week, we started sending each other daily emails. It was exciting to wake up and know there would be an email from him there. With every bit of communication we had, I wanted more. I am usually very shy, introverted and not keen on meeting or talking to new people. It sends the anxiety sky high. But when it came to the thought of meeting him, it was a much more terrifying thought to think about not doing it. And so I knew, really, before he even got here for the first time, that he was important, special, the one, because to feel so certain that it would be a huge mistake to not take the risk, despite my natural tendency to want to hide under a table, was a once in a lifetime thing. It's really corny and cliche to say, but it really makes me wonder if there is some kind of higher power out there looking out for us and putting us in the right places to find each other. It seems like it would have been so unlikely otherwise. Whether it was chance or some kind of matchmaking guardian angel, I consider myself incredibly lucky to have him. We have been together for about 21.5 years now and will have our 20th wedding anniversary in October. I can tolerate her being around for long periods, and more importantly, she can tolerate me being around for long periods. Besides, she's totally out of my league and there's no way I can get anyone better than her, lol. And she thinks the same about me. This was in the early 2000s when people would still throw around gay slurs as insults. I was in high school and, being the introvert that I was, holed myself up in the library. Back then he was an acquaintance and happened to be walking by. Scared the crap out of me when he saw what I was drawing. Yaoi. Instead of reacting the usual manner, "You. Gross. etc." he said, "Whoa, that's some really nice art. Robin's my favorite superhero." Right then I knew he was the one because my art had been of Robin and Beast Boy furiously making out. I've got to hand it to you. Your story is the first one to get a chuckle out of me in this thread. You must have some killer artistic talent. Hope you kept at it. He wasn't my first BF but the first person I slept with. He's been by my side through a lot of tough times. We broke up and slept with different people and he struggled through the pain of repairing the damage. He was there when my mom passed away. He stood by me when I was an absolute B. And the connection is still super strong. The most intense love I've ever felt with anyone ever. Picture it. High school 1986 to 1988. I met my husband on the first day of school junior year, but went out with a few guys before my husband. In 1987, our senior year, he asked me to be his girlfriend and I said yes. What won me over was his ability to make me laugh and to make me feel like I'm the best thing in the world. I'd never felt like that before. Fast forwarded 30 years being together, 27 years married. He's the love of my life and he still makes me laugh. Met at 15, married at 29. We are best friends, and I knew he would always love me and cherish me and treat me well. Everything else is a bonus. Extra bonus points for his hilarious sense of humor. Life can suck but a well-timed joke or a happy smile can make a world of difference. 3. I'm 24 and have been with my partner since I was 16 and he was 17. We did 4 years of long distance while he was in college, and then 2 more when I finished up my degree in a city about an hour away from him. I used to think I was missing out on something and that we should break up for the sake of making sure he was the one by experiencing relationships with other people. Then I realized that's stupid and I'm not going to leave my best friend on the off chance that we might break up sometime in the future. She's a very good person. My dad told me not to let her go. Our friendship was pretty effortless. The only argument for letting her go was the fact that I was young, 19, and hadn't experienced other people. She went to school in another state. We kept it going. Perhaps if either of us had met someone, we would have naturally broken up, but we didn't. We rejoined, then did the long distance thing again, then moved in together, grew together. By the time we were married, we'd been together for 7 years. Marriage changed nothing. The strength of our bond grew over time. It wasn't like we were destined to be together forever at 19. But after years of really enjoying each other, you ask yourself, why wouldn't you stay together? We just got married in July, but we've been together for 8 years altogether. We dated in high school, but I broke up with him twice. He never lets me forget that either. He makes me happy, and that's what I wanted from a relationship. There is something special about growing up and learning to love someone else and having that person teach you how to love yourself as well. Robin Williams' line in Good Will Hunting really sums up my experience. I got regrets, but I don't regret a single day spent with her. I could have gotten with a lot of other girls, which fills me with regret a lot of times, but doesn't mean I'd be willing to trade the time I spent with her. Everything was just easy. I've never thought about breaking up or been curious about being with someone else. We met as flatmates and we just clicked. One day we realized we'd basically been dating for months, waiting for each other to come home, going for walks, long conversations, meeting each other's friends. Married for 3 years, together for 7. I've never wanted anything more than him. We started dating in high school and just kind of stuck together. It's not all romantic and squishy, but there was just never a reason not to split up, so we didn't. There was no moment of OMG, he's the one, just hey, you make me happy and I like your face. If you feel the same way, we should see how long we can keep this going, and then well crap, I guess we'll get the government involved now. When he joined the army and we got married. This year will be 19 years of just keeping this going and 15 years of marriage. I still like his face. I am 50 and my wife is 49. We met when we were 10 and married at 18. I can be a fairly high-strung guy. I've always had some form of anxiety. The first time I met her, I instantly noticed I wasn't jittery or anxious. When she left, the anxiety and jitters returned. I was in 7th grade, sitting in math class and was having a horrible day. In the midst of my constant frustration, I look up and she in the hallway waving me out. I get my helpers. We walk around the blind corner and she kissed me for the first time. I was shocked and she said, "I've been waiting for the perfect time." I don't know why, but right now felt like the perfect time. She skipped back to class. After school I told her I was going to marry her because she makes me happy. We met online when I was 16 and he was 18. We lived on opposite sides of the country, so didn't meet in person until 18 months later, but we talked for hours every day. Everyone in our chat room joked how we were gonna get married one day before we'd even admitted to ourselves we liked each other. Instant sparks when we met in person. I'd never really been attracted to anyone before, and I usually hated being touched, but we were instantly snuggly and had our first kiss a week in. We were so cute. After that, we were long distance. I went to the UK for a year after finishing high school, and I feel like during that time we were sort of going out, but maybe not fully. But either way, any day I didn't talk to him was pretty crap. I would go out of my way while backpacking to get online, back in the days of internet cafes and dial-up, to send him emails lol. We made it official when I got back to us, and we both told our families, and we finally met up for the second time when I was 19 and he was 21. We then did long distance for 6 years, and during that time we only saw each other in person maybe twice a year, and at no point did either of us want to be with anyone else. We questioned whether we could make us work because of the distance, and it was really hard, but we never wanted to not be with each other. I feel like that's how we really knew. We're both pretty antisocial, so finding someone you really like is pretty rare lol. So it's been 16 years now since we met online. We have 2 kids and have been married 4 years on Thursday. Still not interested in anyone else. We can chill in silence together, doing our own things, and it's comfortable. I love just being around him. It makes me happy that he encourages me to have my own interests and wants to spend time with me while I pursue them. He also helps me to learn about things I wouldn't usually find interesting, and he's patient with me when he's teaching me things. This My GF literally comes over and just lays down and watches Netflix on her phone on my bed while I play video games, and when I suggest to put it on the TV she says she just craves my presence. Love her so much. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.